All right, welcome to Season 2 of It Takes a Family, a podcast that helps take parenting from desperation to hope. I'm one of your hosts, Andy.
And I'm one of your co-hosts, Kelly. Once a week, we highlight experts and other parents like you who have been in the trenches of parenting, bringing hard lessons learned and insights on how to navigate even the most difficult of family circumstances.
So this season, we are tackling the Gen Z mental health crisis head-on using groundbreaking research from the Barna Group and Dr. Stephanie Shackelford.
Yes, and we've broken this season down into 6 vital themes, everything from navigating technology to caring for our own health as parents. We're splitting each topic into 2 parts. In part 1, we look at the data and practical tips with Dr. Shackelford. And in part 2, we bring in a guest to share ideas of how to implement them in our home.
And today's episode is a part 2 of our discussion on cultivating kingdom purpose. And we have the one and only Jamie McKnight in the house today.
Jamie's in the house.
Jamie, good to have you, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh,
Good.
Jamie,
Oh, my
this is a good day.
This is a good
This
day.
is a good day. Let me tell y'all about my friend Jamie. So, all right, Jamie's joining us today. Jamie has been with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA, as an area representative for 4 years. FCA's vision is to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes, which Jamie is both.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Athlete, I don't know.
More a coach. Yeah, I was going to lean in. Let's lean into the coach side at this
Anywho,
point.
Retired.
Jamie is a graduate of UGA, Go Dogs, with a major in sport management. He also has his master's in special ed and teaching. And Jamie also spent a season here at Eagle Ranch as a program assistant. And Jamie and I have a really sweet connection story. You want to tell them our sweet story, Jamie?
The sweet story is my first day, or I believe your first day, one of ours.
Yeah, I
We
think it was
were maybe the same first day. We met each other, and one of us was getting interviewed, and the other one of us
Had just got hired. Yeah.
And we looked at each other like, "Hey, how you doing?"
We were both nervous and
Yep.
excited,
Yep.
and we shared that with each other. And then Jamie goes, "And it's my birthday." Oh my gosh, it's the best day ever. So
Yeah.
we've been fast friends ever since.
Yeah.
And that was long before Andy Nelson was even thought of here at Eagle
That's right.
Ranch.
All right, let's get this back on track. So, Jamie, we're glad you're here. And Jamie is my friend, and he likes me more than Kelly. And
No,
so,
he doesn't.
Jamie, I would like to start here, where we start the podcast most of the time. Tell us about the family you grew up in and the family you lead now.
Okay. So yeah, I am one of 3 boys. I'm in the middle. We are pretty far spread apart. I think my older brother's about 7 years older than me. My younger brother's about 6 years younger than me. So we're spread apart. But I grew up in a 2-parent household with my 2 brothers. We went to church and stuff and did all the things, the sports, typical suburban family type stuff,
Right.
and everything. I would say, as far as being at the ranch, which we'll circle back to, talk a little bit about how I got to where I am now.
Yeah.
As far as being at the ranch showed me that there were things that I missed, that my family missed, just around vulnerability, being open, talking about real stuff, that didn't really show up until, I got here, the ranch when I was working here. So I worked through some of that stuff. So since being kind of moved out of my family and kind of getting older, now I have a family of my own. Married, I have 3 kids, an 8-year-old boy, a 4-year-old girl, and a 15-month-old. So I sleep very little.
Yes.
Yeah, and have for 3 years now.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I worry a
Oh,
lot, which is
man.
really kind of just comes with the territory. But we try to practice a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
That I feel like, love my family to death, right? Like we did the thing, if you will.
Yeah.
And we did the best that we could, but we try to practice a lot of just the vulnerability and the intentionality around relationship in my family now, and really at a young age. So that's kind of instilled in them as they grow. We want that to be a generational kind of passed down.
That's beautiful.
That's
so, yeah.
awesome. Yeah, your wife she's beautiful.
She is.
Y'all make they're adorable.
They are
Andy. They're adorable.
So, I mean, you've kind of gotten into your story a little bit, but like, give us a little bit more. And then, in terms of like, what are you doing now with FCA? Kind of how's the Lord sort of weave that story to where you are today?
Okay. So let's go back to Eagle Ranch.
Yeah.
I guess I started here in 2014, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Started in 2014 and you call it a PA. It was an assistant counselor at the time. Whatever that meant. Did that for a while. And then after that, I moved into a teaching role in Mill Creek High School for 5 years. Coached football over there. And then after that was done, around 2026 now, so it would have been 2022, I started with FCA. While I was teaching, and was coaching. Coaching was primarily what I wanted to do. But it was so cool how God was kind of orchestrating, kind of putting it all together to bring me where I am now. Because when I was at the ranch, I was learning about like spirituality and working with kids and myself and the importance of the development there. And then when I got to teaching, I was really focused on coaching and stuff like that. But began to see how a lot of what I learned at the ranch and a lot of even just my calling around, pastoral ministry and stuff like that was just really kind of starting to come to a head with coaching, where I saw some of the need that it was needed for the kids, the athletes that were there. And so I don't know, I just kind of got past the coaching and the lights and the Friday night lights and the got to do this and that, and we got to win the championship and all that, and realized there's a deeper meaning here. And so from there, when my daughter was born, I had a minute to kind of breathe. As I don't know if you've worked in the school system before. It's just, it can be 100 miles an hour all the time, and then when you stop to breathe, you realize, like it can look a little different. That's when God began to move me into this, like, how about we blend sports and spirituality, relationship with Christ, but you can focus more on the Christ side of it and not as much on X's and O's and winning games and stuff.
I mean, I remember as you're talking, I'm remembering conversations you and I had, and you're kind of like articulating this kind of idea of, I kind of like coaching, but what I really like is pouring into these young men. And like, I got to go to the coaching. I want to go hang out with this kid and like help him see that his worth and value is way greater than being the running back. And the coach is like, you better get him to be a good running back. And a good, well-meaning coach who loved the kids and desired what was good for those kids. But at the same time, that sort of pull in your heart, it fits really well with our theme, which is why we brought you here. But like this idea of kingdom purpose, like you were a great coach. I feel certain of it, and could have continued in that path and would have done really well. And sort of this desire to see something bigger and greater in a kingdom purpose. It just was reminding me of some really fun conversations, and I'm appreciative of guys like you in the coaching world and at FCA and the way that you're impacting kids.
Man. Thanks.
All right, so let's take a little bit of a turn here. You're working every day with what we call Gen Z. You're working with teenagers at schools in a sports context. What questions do you hear them asking about Christianity and the church?
All right, so I should say that, like, for one, like, I spend a lot of my time with a lot of students that are already in some capacity, like, desiring the Lord. So it can look different versus somebody that's not really pursuing those things, which I would imagine a lot of the questions are the same. But the perspective of like what the answer is or what they're seeking can be different. So, sorry. With the kids that I work with, no, I'm good. Thank you.
You can have my water.
No, it's good. It's good. It just keeps coming back. It's all good.
All right.
But the kids that I work with, a lot of the questions that they ask in my arena are around kind of the application of the Christian walk in their lives, and how to to be effective in that. Like specifically, like how do I share my testimony?
Okay.
You know, how do I lead a Bible study group? You know, what type of things do I focus on?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. But even within those conversations and within those kids, there's also questions like, what's relationships look like? You know, like how do I do that well? What does the
Right.
Bible say about things like that? You know,
Right.
so there's kind of this underlying theme of like we want to do things well.
Mm-hmm.
And understand how to portray Christ well,
Mm-hmm.
how to live well, how to make good decisions or better decisions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it can get confusing, you know, kind of just with some of the way that things are portrayed, and social media, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so, but a lot of that, a lot of leadership questions,
Okay.
and sharing, just kind of walking it out questions around Christianity and that lifestyle, you know.
I remember taking some seminary classes and thinking, I've not ever had a teenager ask me about the finer points of Isaiah, but I've had a lot of them ask me if making out is a sin, right? Like there is this like kind of like practical part of how do I live my life? That those are the questions they're asking guys like you and guys like youth pastors and gals in ministry that are coming alongside and really meeting them there at their point of need. And so that's interesting.
You know, I want to ask too. I know you said the bulk of your time is spent with kids maybe that are already curious and already kind of going down that road just by nature of FCA. But I know you have the opportunity to share the gospel and why someone might want to consider that. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like how resistant people are, or what you think what hungers or things that you see that people that you had success with getting people to open up a little bit or share? Or?
It is. I would say that you know, the response to that can be kind of the community, like the culture of the community that you're in. And so I think that sometimes what am I trying to say? Like receiving and hearing the gospel, I believe are kind of like we're open to that. A lot of the kids are open to that.
Okay.
I think what can be difficult is like taking it and running with it. Sure. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes or kind of like insecurity around like, what do I do with this? Because there are a lot of other things, specifically like where I work, that are more prioritized. So there's that competition of, I think I want this, or I'd love to have this, you know, but also I have to worry about grades. I have to worry about sport. I have to worry about my status. I have to worry about, you know what I'm saying? So they hear the gospel and it's attractive because I have kids that, you know, never talk to me otherwise. They're like, man, I really love what you had to say. I really appreciate it. I love your talk. But then like, you know, they never talk to me like when it's, when we're in school setting. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's this tension there.
When do they actually get to hear you talk and kind of share your testimony and why, like, this is why I've invited Jesus into my heart? Like, when do you do that?
I get the opportunity to do that. It's kind of per coach's request. So I reach out to coaches because, again, we want to see the world transform by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. Yeah. And the idea is that we would speak really into the coaches because the coaches have such transient students rolling through like all their career, right? But what happens is often is that coaches ask me to come and they talk, and so then I get to speak in front of however many. So I've done track, I've done soccer, I've done girls, volleyball, basketball. Like just there's so many opportunities I get to do. I get to go and speak and share those things.
So like what would be an example of you get invited to come speak to the track team? Like what kind of approach do you take to have it to like making that connection between sport, but the deeper and more important purpose of why are you here and what are you doing with your life? You know?
Right. Let's see. Some of that depends on my consistency. If I know that I'm only going to have a small window to talk to these kids, then I usually hit it pretty hard. Like, you know, kingdom-wise, like gospel, like this is heavy, this is important, this is, you know, what Jesus has done in my life, and this is what you can have. You know, and a lot of times I hit a lot of the key points of like, what social media and the world is going to tell you, this is what it looks like. This is how it's supposed to be. And it's like, let's go back to scripture. Let's go back to the Bible.
Yeah.
Versus like, for instance, last year, I worked with girls basketball. And so at one point, I think I was kind of going through like a curriculum where I was hitting specific topics of, what does trust look like? How do you trust your team?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take that. What does that look like when you step off the court or out of the arena? What does it look like for you to trust each other? What does it look like for you to trust Jesus? How do y'all confide in each other?
Yeah.
Things of that nature where you kind of build on top of
Yeah.
it. So sometimes it's like I come in and I'm like, hey, like this is what you need to know. And I kind of give the whole spiel what's going on. And then other times as I'm building relationship, we're just hitting little pieces of things along the way and building on top of it.
All right, so you've talked a little bit about like kind of the obstacles that are in the way. You mentioned school, you mentioned sports, you mentioned social media, friends, all this. As this is a parenting podcast,
Oh, yeah.
in what ways are parents helping this or hurting this? Like when you look at, and you're working more with the athletes and the coaches than you are the parents themselves. I recognize that, but you also see
You're hearing. Yeah.
you're hearing and you see what the parents are bringing. Do you see it as more helping or hurting, or a little bit of both? In what ways?
Primarily from what I've experienced with what I do at the middle school and the high school and even sometimes the elementary school in the community. The parents, when they are more engaged and involved, specifically like in a church community, I think it can be more receptive to the kids. It becomes kind of a cultural thing that starts with the family.
Okay.
So when the family is about living a Christ-like life, the family's about seeking the purpose through the means of the Bible, through the means of a church community, and the parents are kind of leading in that at home, then I think that the kids respond very well to not feeling so confused about it.
Okay.
And there's more openness to kind of talk about what direction they want to go, what they want to do. On the other hand, it's hard because like when the parents aren't engaged, it's like I don't spend time with them because they're not there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've still seen students that have responded well to wanting to learn and understand more about this stuff, even with parents that are like not engaged with what's going on.
Just for clarity, when you say they're not there.
Sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean there like as in like present. I just meant like the spiritual relationship with Christ is not necessarily a priority.
Okay.
They don't really show up a lot with church or they don't come
Or just
a lot
haven't really
to
given it a
FCA
lot of
events.
thought. I know that was
Right.
my, my
sure.
story.
For sure. Yeah.
If no one's talking about it at home, it's like I hadn't really even thought I need to
Exactly.
be considering this,
Exactly.
So,
Yes, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
But
thank
you
you.
have opportunities to you share kind of
Yes,
with
ma'am.
everyone and just see what seeds
Yes, ma'am.
what seeds take.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I at some point I was going to be sarcastic, which is surprising to all of us. But like, and I was about to say, like, it's almost like it takes a family to help raise a child. Like I do, I had an
Crazy
epiphany years ago in youth ministry, and I had like this big group of seniors, and I thought like, I'm doing really, really good work. This is really important. And then I looked and I realized, oh, they all have awesome families. Like, yes, I was doing wonderful work, and their families had like done the hard work. And so to your point, like it's not as if a kid who doesn't have a strong family can't learn these skills and like build that resilience, but there's such an advantage in giving a kid a kingdom purpose when the family is driving that, and then all of a sudden you've got this great FCA leader and coach coming alongside that. You like exponentially recreate that.
Well, and can I say it goes back
can say
to
whatever
like
you'd
a lot of the training even that we had here at the ranch.
Sure.
It's like the parents like they provide the security. So when there's security, there's room to think about what's next. Think about what what I'm saying from the standpoint of like I can thrive instead of the standpoint of I have to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
What role do you see sports playing? Do you see sports being a barrier or helping give kids a kingdom purpose?
oh man, what a question.
Depends what day.
It does, man. I just this one's hard for me. Because I see both and.
Okay. Give me both hands.
Yeah, God, chewing on this is tough.
I know. I'm a parent with kids in sports, and I'm coaching. So give me the answers, Jamie.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I would say that I think that sport provides a great platform to really show. It's just
To show what, John?
golly.
To show things.
I wrestle with this all the time.
Okay.
I said the community that I'm in right now. Okay, and just for the sake of whatever, I won't tell them.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the community I'm in, they put sports on a very high
Yes, they do.
pedestal, and so what can happen is when it's that high up, it provides a great platform to be a beacon of Christianity, a beacon of Christ, whatever it looks like. But it also, because of so much pressure, can send the message that this thing is just a little bit more important or as important. I think sometimes that sport gets put in the wrong place. And it's what I kind of developed this as I was working at Mill Creek, whatever, this 49-51 principle.
Okay.
Where like when you zoom out, okay, and you put a needle in the middle of 100%, and you're like, okay, cool, it looks like it's right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
Okay. When you zoom in, if it's 49-51, when that pressure hits, that 2% goes skyrocketing. You see what I'm saying? And so there can be this perception, this mentality, like we're doing all the right things, like Jesus is way up there, Christ is about it, church is whatever. And then there's that 2% that like, when it's time to like get for real, or like when
Rubber
your team
meets the road,
loses
yeah.
or whatever, like you see what really matters. You know what I'm saying? But you can really only see it under the pressure. And I think that's one of the things that like you just have to be really careful as a coach, even as an athlete, to put sport in its proper place, and Jesus in its proper place. And I think that sometimes we just try and so hard to like make them equal, and they're not. Like they are not the same thing, not even close, right? Because when sport's over, Jesus still remains, right?
Come on.
And then Jesus still remains, and he still remains, right? But sports will go in and out, up and down. You're good. You're awesome. You retired. Whatever.
Right.
Like,
Right.
You're bad. You stink. You're out.
Yeah.
You're hurt.
Yeah. Right. That's always changing, but Christ is unchanging.
Yeah.
Well, as a person who's coaching middle school basketball tonight, right?
Oh, man.
There is like this.
Is this a championship?
It's the semifinals, but
Oh.
I have said like over and over again, I have to like preach to myself really regularly. If my identity is found in middle school sports that I'm not playing, then it's a me problem, right? Like that
You
is
need to
now,
resign
right? I need
as
to
a
step
director of spiritual life.
I need to step down at that moment. Not director, easy.
Okay,
That's my
all right,
paying
sorry,
job.
sorry.
But just it's that thing of like this is not the kingdom purpose. Now,
sure.
I also know that I have an incredible opportunity with the 12 young men that will be at this game tonight to teach them about. We have 5 character values on our team. We have resilience and development, encouragement, max effort, and the other one. And so I do that every time I'm with them. I remember for them. But just
impressive.
we get an opportunity to develop you spiritually and to help you be resilient and to grow in yourself and to encourage one another. Like this is
Win or lose.
Win or lose.
Yeah.
Like this is it. And so, but
Sounds good.
it sounds good until they make a bad call and you want to say something to the ref. That's not very nice.
sure.
All right, I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah,
Maybe, but you can get me back on it real quick.
I hear you. I hear you, man. I do.
All right.
It's tough.
Different question. You're working in public schools. You're seeing kids every day. You're seeing coaches and parents. What do you wish? Like I gave you a megaphone at the high school you're at. You could tell to every parent, like, do this. Like, this is really what your kids need. What do you want to scream from the rooftops of like, do this?
Ask questions and listen. I mean, it's as basic and as simple as it gets. Spend time asking your kids questions about the things they enjoy, things they desire. You know what I'm saying? And listen to that, and then respond in a way that you can, because you're trying to engage their heart. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna tie it all back into parenting and tie it all back into security and all that stuff, like the more that. And you all know it. I mean, we've all been kids, right? Some of us, we're still kids. I'm still a kid, right? All right. When you can gather from somebody that's older than you, right? A guy that disciples you, or your parent, or whoever it is, like, and you can gather that they care about your heart, right? Then there's more ability to receive like what you know, right? What was it my dad used to say? Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
that.
And so in the same regard, like, if you want your kids to respond to like the good things that you want to share with them, like
Right.
spend time like investing in their heart. Ask them how they are. Ask them what they care about. Ask them what they thought about X, Y, and Z. What do they think about the sport that you're putting them in? Whatever it may be, spend time in that area. And it might be a little uncomfortable if you're not used to it.
And then you preach a sermon at them, right?
And then you preach. You get the Bible and you literally swing. No.
No, you listen. That's so good, man. I'm just,
You ask the questions and you
Yes.
listen. And if you have a relationship with the Lord, like He gives you the things to say,
that's so good.
and the moments to really introduce the narrative of Jesus and the character of Jesus, not only in what you say, but in how you posture yourself.
Yeah.
With what you do and your behavior.
I'm thinking about you and your 8-year-old son.
Yeah.
And you're talking some good stuff right now. Like, you got any little antidotes from your and his time together? Something maybe that stumped you, or something where you're like, man, I handled that really well.
Yeah. It was actually, it's funny you should say that, because in my household growing up, it didn't look like that. For me, Dad, if you're listening, I love you. I know you did the best you can. It's not a shot at you, but it just didn't look that way. And so it's funny because as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. I know that the Lord has put me in a relationship with my son, because my son, in a lot of ways, are things that challenge me. The biggest challenge being like listening and hearing what his heart is. And so there have been times where I'll be like,
So basically, what you're preaching to us, you're like, that's hard to do as a parent
absolutely,
yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is.
Just
It can
keeping
be
it
one of
real.
the hardest
Keeping it
things.
real.
For real. It can be one of the hardest things to do. But it was just the other day. I'm trying to remember what it was. I got onto him about something, and it was. It probably wasn't as big a deal. It was probably just because there was ice everywhere, and I was cold and mad, and there was stuff getting thrown in the house. We can't go outside because it's dangerous.
Right.
But I remember kind of like in the middle of the day, I remember praying and I'm asking God, like, Lord, like, how can I do this better? Like, what do I need to do? And it wasn't like an audible anything, but I just kind of felt this, like, just go sit with him. And so I went upstairs, and again, it's not always easy, right?
Right.
Because, my kid loves to talk about pretty much all things video games,
Right,
which is cool. Who doesn't like video games, right? But sometimes, like, turn it down. Anyway, we sat there and we talked, and then all of a sudden he starts asking questions about God, and what about the stars, and what about the Lord, and God is good, this, and what do you, and I was just like, oh, like, this is really what I wanted the whole time.
Right,
So the Lord was like, yeah, if you sit down and listen, like,
yeah.
really
so
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's happened several times.
Yeah.
Several times. But
It's nice to know we're not doing this parenting thing by ourselves.
Right.
oh no.
Last question.
Yeah.
We're talking about kingdom purpose, and we're talking about helping develop that kingdom purpose. And I think your advice to parents is really good. Ask questions and listen. And then sort of what's that maybe next step? Maybe there isn't a next step. You can tell me that's a dumb question. Like, in helping kids develop this purpose outside themselves. I hear you say they have a desire for leadership and for, I want to live this out. Like, what is it that you've found helps develop that as a parent or as a FCA leader or a coach, whoever it might be?
Sure. I really can primarily speak just from my experience. When the kid wants to step into something, and we could talk about tangible, specific, I want to be an astronaut, whatever it is, right? But really what I think is the kid stepping into, like, the skills to become what it is that God wants them to be.
Okay.
And in the same way that we desire God to walk with us in those things that we want, I think for parents, like, to step into the arena of what those kids enjoy. and maybe help them develop there. And kind of coming back to some of, again, with the ranch, we talked about, that kind of choice consequence, like, all right, well, let's choose to work on this. Then the kid kind of figures out, well, maybe I don't like this as much, or maybe I do like this a whole lot. So I would say kind of a practical step would be, even if it's as silly or whatever, it's like, man, he just loves Legos all day. Right? Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I know some high school kids now love some Legos.
Yeah, no.
It's whatever. I've done one every now and then.
Yeah, no, I'm having a good time.
Again, stepping into the world of the child there.
Yeah.
And allowing them to create and think and build and whatever it may be, with you being there. Right? You can gather and you can learn, like, is this working? Is this not? And kind of guide and direct them. Well, do you really think you like this? Well, maybe I don't. I do this with my son all the time. I remember when we started, we did football. He played a second season of football, right? And you know about football, right? Everybody wants to be the wide receiver.
Right.
Back. And back when I was coming up, it was, the running back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, wide receiver and all that stuff. And he was like really, really distraught because he was one of the bigger kids on the team, right? And so he had to play lineman. Like, we had just a team full of these little dudes.
I love me a good lineman.
And
I
then
love
my
me a good
son,
lineman.
right? But like, he really had to question, like, do I want to play football or do I not? And I got to step into that arena with him and kind of was trying to show him that, like, hey, like, if we give you the ball as a running back, guess what? You're not going to be in front of you to block.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you have a role to play.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
See Tiny over there? He's going to be blocking
Yeah,
for
he's
you.
going to block for you, which, guess what? You're not going to like playing running back much.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just stepping into it. And I wish that it was more, there was more of a concrete, like, this is the steps to do this and do that. But it really is, it's just like a daily walk.
Yep.
Like, you're just literally just walking one step at a time, whatever they're interested in, just be there and be engaged with them. And just learn as much from them as you want to teach them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think that's how they kind of start moving into the skills and this is what I really like and this is what I care about, because they know that they've got you, they've got your back, or you've got their back. Whatever they do, and that you're going to be there when they fall and all that stuff. Easier said than done.
Sure.
I admit that. Right.
Right.
But definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be. I hope that's helpful. I don't know.
So helpful, man. Thank you.
If you could just be at Andy's game tonight, that would be awesome.
You gonna drive down there with me? Come on,
Do a
man.
little pep talk. You could do a little pep talk.
Oh, do you get a little pregame?
Yeah.
I got a pretty good pregame speech going. So
Sorry, you can't.
All 4.5 of his.
Yeah.
I'll remember all 5. I'll write them down before my pregame speech. All right, thank you to everyone who tuned in today and Jamie's episode. Man, we so appreciate that, and it's such a good job. This is the end of season 2.
Say it isn't so.
Whether you're feeling the weight of the digital world or whatever, we hope that this season was able to give you guys a sense of hope as you walk with your families and as you manage Gen Z. We really hope that this was helpful to you.
Jamie, thank you for helping us wrap up this season. I hope you'll come back and we'll pick this up later in 2026.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Jamie, season finale, you brought it home. Hey, if you enjoyed season 2, we would love for you to get on Apple, Spotify, leave a review. You can connect with us on Instagram or Facebook. Let us know what you think. Season 3 coming soon.
Coming soon.
Or coming. It'll be here.
Yes,
We're
it's
gonna
gonna be
do
awesome.
Season 3. All right, great. Thank you guys.